I hope all of you are doing well. Shonar Bangla Foundation is a non-profit organization, they are engaged in premier healthcare and education service in Bangladesh. They have first visited Sacramento in 2013. We started this journey with them in 2013 with only 15 volunteers or attendees maybe. But mashallah, over the course of the years, we have grown much bigger. You'll be glad to know that we have now 2 kidney dialysis centers in Bangladesh named Sacramento Kidney Dialysis Centers. Thank you very much. All of your generous donations and charitable contributions have made this possible. In our event today, we have 2 segments. So the first part will be the Board of Directors from Shonar Bangla Foundation from Bay Area. We're going to talk about what we have accomplished in 2022 and what is our future plan, including the details of Shonar Bangla Kidney SKDC's 2 events or 2 centers details. So Kamal Bhai will show us some videos on that. Shonar Bangla Foundation's President, Dr. Kamal, Vice President, Dr. Anis, the Medical Research Director, Dr. Noyon, Advisor, Dr. Mahfouz. They'll talk about that segment. And then in the second half, we are going to hear from the local dignitaries, volunteers, and the youths. And then at the end, we are going to conclude with a special motivational speech from our respected Sheikh Amir and Edward. So with that, I would like to start the event. I would like to invite Miyaji Bhai to start with the event with a recitation from Quran. Miyaji Bhai, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. We are studying the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most gracious, most merciful. All praise to Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful, the sovereign authority of the day of judgment. And to Allah we worship to only Allah and we seek help from Him. Please guide us to the straight path, the path where you bestowed your niyama, and not to the path which have your anger and who went astray. So, and next I want to recite a couple of ayats from Surah Munafiqun. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تلهكم أموالكم ولا أولادكم عن ذكر الله ومن يفعل ذلك فأولئك هم الخاسرون. O you have believed, let not your wealth and your children divert you from remembrance of Allah. And if whoever does that, then they are the complete losers. وأنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي أحدكم الموت فيقول رب لولا أخرتني إلى أجل قريب فأصدق وأكن من الصالحين. And spend in the way of Allah from what we have provided you before death approaches one of you and he says, my Lord, if only you would delay me for a brief term, so I would go back and give charity and be among the righteous. وَلَنْ يُؤَخِّرَ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهَا وَاللَّهُ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. But never Allah will delay a soul when its time has come. And Allah is aware of what you will do. So this is very, very important ayat regarding the charity. So we'll get only one opportunity in this life to give the charity. May Allah give us, may Allah make this program successful and make us among the righteous by making like the charity by donating for this noble cause. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Jazakallah Miyaji Bhai for reminding us the true nature of our life. The goal of today's event to raise $100,000. Don't worry about meaning the number of people might show small number of people, but inshallah in 2023 we're targeting $100,000 from Sacramento community. 50,000 of those will be spent for building a facility in our third SKDC or Sacramento Kidney Dialysis Center in Pabna, and $50,000 is targeted for the Zakat eligible patients for the two centers we have already established. As Miyaji just mentioned, whenever our time will end, when we'll hit our graveyard, there will be three things that will follow us: our family, our wealth, and our good deeds. Once you are buried, or once we will be buried in the graveyard, your family will leave the graveyard. Your wealth will be distributed among your heirs. The only thing that will remain with us in our graveyard and the rest of life, according to religion, is our good deeds. So this is the time and opportunity for all of us, including myself, to convert our wealth and our knowledge into charitable act that will protect us for the rest of the life. With that being said, I would like to invite our Shonar Bangla Foundation's Vice President, Dr. Anis, to start the overview for Shonar Bangla Foundation. Dr. Anis Bhai.
Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. I'm really glad to have live event. We have been coming here since 2013, and from day one we had a very successful program with Folsom Sacramento community. So really, I'm glad to see all of you here, and also your community has been very generous, right? And the result reflects here, right? You donated 2 centers. Alhamdulillah, they are running pretty good. We have a lot of needy patients there. So really, from the bottom of my heart, right, thank you very much. So I want to just to recap a little bit. So we are a non-profit organization. So your donation is tax deductible. And also in Bangladesh, we are registered as NGO Bureau. And we are mainly focusing on healthcare and education. And as you can see on the bottom, so kidney dialysis, that's what we are focusing in today's event. But we have a nursing institute. Unfortunately, Dr. Mahmood was supposed to be here, but he got sick. So I just want to briefly tell you about Nursing Institute. We started this journey with less than 30 students a few years back. And last year, this batch of students, they graduated. So they're doing the training now. So alhamdulillah, they will be in the workforce. So that's very good journey for us because most of these students came from very poor family. And last year, we started with less than 30 students. Last year, our enrollment for the first year was 60 students. So we are seeing a lot of progress, and we will contribute to the community in Bangladesh, providing more nursing nurses. So that's a good progress, and I was very lucky that time. I was in Bangladesh, so I was able to attend the graduation program. And Dr. Mahfouz is we are also focusing on how to prevent the disease. I think Dr. Mahfouz is going to talk about it. So we have a screening program. We are trying to know how to spread those programs so that people can, we can detect people before they catch, they go to bad shape with kidney disease. And I will briefly talk about what is SBF MedTech. We started talking about as R&D center. What is the goal of this MedTech center and how they are contributing. And finally, we are working on fundraising in different sites. I think Ohio is the main sponsor to make our first kidney transplant. So we're going to have in the future more fundraising. I think Kamal most probably is going to talk about it. Can you go to the next slide? So because of, right now, all over US, we are seeing a lot of people coming forward, and same as in Sacramento, and because of that, you can see the growth we are having, We already inaugurated 20 centers which are operational, and we did not focus on Dhaka. Our goal was how to bring this service across the Bangladesh. So you can see in the map, We are distributing all around Bangladesh, and those are the lists. Right now we have 6 new dialysis centers coming on the pipeline. So you can see in Bangladeshi community in US is coming forward. Once we tell our story, they come forward and fund our projects. To date, we provided more than 500,000 dialysis service. That's tremendous. And also right now, we became the largest non-profit dialysis provider in Bangladesh. So it's an achievement for you, from you guys. So really appreciate, thank you very much. Next slide, please. So this was, the reason I want to bring the theme in this way, you can see, we decide a site, someone comes forward, they say they want to make a center in a certain location. Then our biotech, as I mentioned, we have a biotech in the MedTech, SBF MedTech, we have a very good biomedical engineering team. From scratch, they make, can you go back, please? We make the water treatment plant, the whole center from scratch, it's built. And at the end, we inaugurate the center, the mayor of Narayanganj inaugurated that. I think we have someone from Narayanganj who also initiated that program. Next slide, please. Same thing, This is donated by community, your community here. And same model, We know how to, from scratch to end, how to make the center. So this was in Jatrawari. It happened due to Sacramento Wholesome Initiative. Next slide, please. Same thing. That means our biotech team already mastered the capability how to start the center from zero to the end. And what we are doing now, this team now can take this model. We are open to anyone who wants us to build a center for them, because that center, what we are trying to do, initiate some revenue from our biotech medtech team, and we want to put those funds back to the patient. So we are trying to make ourselves how to become self-sufficient. So that's one of the model we are working on. Next slide, please. This is about medtech. I talked about we have a biomedtech team. We are focusing on multiple things. We acquired a land in high-tech park. So we are on the process of putting our first line, where we already became expert how to make our own machine. We kind of assemble the whole machine. The reason we are doing this, we started with ourselves, how to reduce the cost. Buying a machine from outside is expensive. So when we assemble our own machine, we can cut down the cost. So that's how we are starting. Now we are also looking into, can we sell this machine outside? We started selling some. Again, if we make profit revenue, we'll feed back that revenue back to the patient. So these are some of the initiatives going on, how we can make ourselves self-sufficient. Same thing, we have a software team. We already developed the apps. And what we're going to do is we are going to collect a lot of data out of all the centers. You see, our center is growing. And this, we can look into this data and see how to make more improvement for the patients. And you can see the biotech team, they're working on it. So that's about medtech. And we have very good engineers who is making tremendous progress on that. Next slide, please. I think Mahfouz Bhai is going to talk about it, so it was in the slide, so I will leave it. But this is about a prevention program. So I think Mahfouz Bhai is going to talk about it. Next slide. So how you can help? We are trying our best. Our first goal is quality has to be same as US quality, right? We work closely with the DaVita, which is US based. So we don't want to sacrifice our quality. So then, if I compare, a lot of time people ask, right? It's not free. We are trying our best, as I mentioned previously, right? We are trying to cut down our cost. At a certain point, inshallah, with people's donation, we will be able to make it free. But what we are doing is, if you look into our quality, and if you look into how much people pay for United Hospital or Square Hospital, we are more than half. Right? They take 6,000, and what we right now charge, base price, is the cost. And then when we get money, donation, right, through our sponsor, a kidney patient, that money, it directly goes to patient, needy patient, or you can put a name of the patient and it directly goes to them. For them, it can be free. So it depends how much money we collect. And also, already we are giving additional 500 taka off because Ministry of Social Welfare is helping us. Every patient is getting 500 taka off. So we are seeing a lot of progress. So inshallah, one day we can make it free. But we have infrastructure, we have a doctor, we have to keep a doctor, we have to keep a nurse. So we try to keep it just on cost, how much we can provide. So as I mentioned, right, you can help, right? It costs only $2,000, $2,500 to sponsor a patient. If someone donates for a particular patient, that can be free for that patient. We have a nursing student, as we mentioned, also have a lot of needy students. And there are other expenses, right? Our cost is renting a space. So if you know someone who wants to donate a space for us to put the center, right, that will reduce our cost. Same thing with, someone can donate a dialysis machine with someone's name, and even they can donate a dialysis center. I think Sacramento is doing a great job on that, right? I think we are working on the third one for Bhavna from your community. So for Zakah, we take zakah and we have a separate fund for zakah. We have separate bank account for zakah. So that zakah money will directly go to patients who are eligible for zakah. It's not like we take the money and distribute to everyone. So we separate that zakah money. So when you donate for zakah, please mention it's zakah, so that we can separate that money and put it on a separate account. So you can donate from zakah, sadaqah, or any endowment fund you want to sponsor. We can do that. So my request to you, please be generous. This is the month of become generous. I appreciate you open your wallets and donate generously. With that, thank you.
Thank you, Anis Bhai, for showcasing Shonar Bangla Foundation's activities. And all of you should feel proud that your generous donation made a difference in people's life. Our next guest speaker is Shonar Bangla Foundation President, Honorable Dr. Kamal. I asked him, Kamal Bhai, he is a very big inspiration for me and lots of volunteers from Shonar Bangla Foundations. So let's hear from him.
And by now I have a state. I was talking to Anis Bhai, Dr. Anis Bhai. So Alhamdulillah, we started this journey. Myself, I started back in 2004 or late 2004. And the first dialysis center we started in 2006. 2006 আমরা যখন করি প্রথম ডায়ালিসিস সেন্টারটা মৌচাকে একটা এবং আমার খেয়াল আছে নভেম্বর মাসে আমরা ওই বছর 70টা ডায়ালিসিস উই পারফর্মড সার্ভ অনলি 70 ডায়ালিসিস। হ্যাঁ, তখন আমরা কিচ্ছু জানি না কীভাবে কী করতে হবে, নোবডি নোজ। অনেক কিছু বলেন আপনারা দেশে একটা জিনিস করে দেখেন কন্টিনিউয়াসলি যে কত কষ্ট দেশে করা এবং সাস্টেইন করা ওভার ইয়ার্স। আলহামদুলিল্লাহ আমরা কিন্তু I see Arif from Arizona, Arizona is big volunteer. Arizona also, you are not alone, just to say. Arif works for Intel Arizona. ওরাও দুটা ডায়ালিসিস সেন্টার স্পন্সর করেছে সোফার, একটা হলো ফরিদপুর, একটা বরিশাল, এবং they are sponsoring 2 more. So Sacramento is not alone. আমি দেখে খুব ভালো লাগছে। আর Anis bhai already covered a lot of things. I am not going to repeat. আমরা বলছি যে we have grown to a point that Bangladesh Ministry of Health is talking to us, DG Health is talking to us, how we can cooperate with them, collaborate with them to go. আমাদের আকাঙ্ক্ষা যেটা, আপনারা প্রবাসী যারা দেশ থেকে আসছেন সবাই মনে করেন দেশে নিজেদের মতো করে যদি ফিরে দিতে পারেন, পে ব্যাক টু বাংলাদেশ। ওকে, আমরা সবার অপরাধবোধ আছে, কিন্তু দেশে না নিয়ে আমরা চলে আসছি। সেখান থেকে কিছুটা করা যায় কিনা সেই একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম তৈরি করা। এবং আমি মনে করি already we have about 300 employees in our payroll, doctors, nurses, dialysis technicians, biomedical engineers. এগুলো তো বাংলাদেশে কিন্তু জব ক্রিয়েট হয়েছে। আমার এই সেন্টারগুলো যদি না হতো, ইন্ডিয়ানরা এসে কিন্তু বাংলাদেশে যে চিটাগাং হয়েছে ফরটেক্স, ওকে, সমস্ত টাকা চলে যাচ্ছে। নির্দুতে করেছে হলো ওটা হলো সান্ডার কোম্পানি বাংলাদেশে পিপিপি করেছে। ওকে, বাংলাদেশ গভর্নমেন্ট ইজ নট হ্যাপি। আমি আমার মাহবুব ভাইয়ের সঙ্গে কথা বলছিলাম, বাট দ্যার ইজ স্টাক, সামথিং ইজ গোয়িং অন, দে ওয়ান্ট টু সার্ভ সামথিং টু গেট সামথিং। আপনি জানেন বাংলাদেশ কী হয়। আমাদের এখানে আমরা বলতে পারি যে টাকাটা আপনি দিচ্ছেন সেগুলো মানুষের কাছে যাচ্ছে। ওকে, উনি বলেছে, আনিস ভাই বলেনি, আমরা আমাদের চার্জ হলো অ্যাক্রস বাংলাদেশ 1900 টাকা। আমরা 2টা রিউজ করি প্রত্যেকটা ডায়ালিসিস নতুন করার পরে। ডায়ালাইজার, ব্লাড লাইন, স্যালাইন সেট, বায়োকার্বনেট মিক্সচার, সবগুলো কস্ট এখন যেটা একটা ডায়ালাইজার দাম হলো 850 টাকা, অ্যাড করলে পড়ে যায় 1600 টাকা। আপনি 1900 টাকা করে বাংলাদেশের লাস্ট 10 ইয়ার্সে আমরা একটা পয়সা বাড়াইনি। এরপরেও আলহামদুলিল্লাহ আমরা 300-400 টাকা অবধি, বিকজ হাউ মাচ উই ক্যান রেইজ ফ্রম ইউ এভরি ইয়ার। হ্যাঁ, সেগুলো সব চলে যায় পেশেন্টের কাছে, বিকজ আমাদের মতো মানুষ, আপনাদের মতো মানুষ, আল্লাহ তাআলা আমাদেরকে প্রভিশন দিয়েছে, উই ডোন্ট হ্যাভ টু গেট এনিথিং ফ্রম হিয়ার। আল্লাহ আমরা দিতে পারি, সেটা আমরা একটা ভালো পর্যায়ে এসেছি। তো জাস্ট আই সে যে সো মেনি থিং উই আর গেটিং। আমাদের ইন ফিউচার এই বছরের মধ্যে উইল স্টার্ট, আমি I don't want to burden with other slides, but just to give you a glimpse of how much we have, আমাদের 17 projects we have in hand, new projects. এর মধ্যে হলো মাগুরায় একটা সেন্টার, ঢাকা ইউনিভার্সিটির বায়োকেমিস্ট্রির টিচার স্বাধীনতা পদক প্রাপ্ত হাসিনা খান, উনি আমাদেরকে 5 লাখ টাকা করে প্রত্যেক বছর দিতেন। উনি মাগুরা প্রবাসী থেকে, উনি অনেক দিন বলেছেন 3 বছর আগে যে ভাই আপনারা যদি মাগুরায় কিছু করেন আমাদের ফ্যামিলি ট্রাস্টটা আমরা হেল্প করব। ওনার বড় ভাই হলো শামসুল বারি, উনি ইউনাইটেড নেশনস HCR এর সেকেন্ড ম্যান ছিলেন, আমেরিকায়, বাংলাদেশ চলে গেছেন। ওনারা, আমি দেশে গিয়েছি 1 মাস আগে, আলহামদুলিল্লাহ অনেক সময় বলতে হয় না মানি, তাও বলি আমি, ওনারা আমার হাতে, আমি অফিসে থাকতে ঢাকায় 1,25,00,000 টাকা দিয়ে গেছেন মাগুরা সেন্টার করার জন্য। মাগুরা সেন্টার ইজ অনগোয়িং, মে মাসে আমাদের সেন্টারটা উদ্বোধন হবে। সিয়াটেল কমিউনিটি বাংলাদেশ, আমরা টাকা তুলেছি গত বছর, আসলে 1.5 বছরও টাকা তুলছি। সো উই হ্যাভ অল দ্য মানি। তারা হলো কুমিল্লায় করবে, কুমিল্লা উই আর গেটিং এ স্পেস ফ্রম বাংলাদেশ গভর্নমেন্ট। এই জন্য গভর্নমেন্টের সাথে গেলেই কাজ স্লো হয়ে যায়, বাট ইনশাল্লাহ উই আর ক্লোজিং ইন। তো গভর্নমেন্টের ইয়েতে আমরা সেন্টার 20টা মেশিন দিয়ে শুরু করতে পারবো। অস্টিন টেক্সাস, তারা একটা সেন্টার টাকা তুলেছে, আমরা ময়মনসিংহে উই অলরেডি গট দ্য স্পেস, আমরা নিয়ে নিয়েছি রেন্ট করে। অ্যারিজোনা এবং বেরিয়া একটা কমিউনিটি মিলে তারা করছে পঞ্চগড়, আমরা জায়গা অলরেডি নিয়েছি। একটা স্পেস নেওয়ার পরে সিন্স উই ক্যান, আওয়ার বায়োমেট ক্যান বিল্ড এভরিথিং ফ্রম স্ক্র্যাচ A to Z, আমাদের 4টা মাস থেকে 5 মাস সময় লাগে ম্যাক্সিমাম। বাংলাদেশ গভর্নমেন্ট যেটা শুরু করে ওই জায়গা খুঁজতে লাগবে 2 বছর, আমরা জানি। সেটা আপনারা যারা যারা কাজ করবেন সেটা তারা বুঝতে পারবেন। ইনশাল্লাহ আমরা একটা কিডনি হসপিটাল ফুল প্লেজে আপনি দেখেছেন ওয়াইতে, আমরা আসলে 200,000 অলরেডি উই হ্যাভ ইন হ্যান্ড ফর কিডনি ট্রান্সপ্লান্ট সেন্টার লাস্ট 2 years এর ডোনেশন থেকে। যারা প্যাশনেট টু ডোনেট ফর কিডনি ট্রান্সপ্লান্ট, তারা অন্য কিছু দিতে চায় না। তো আমরা চেষ্টা করছি $1 million মতো টু গেট এ স্পেস ফর মেকিং এ ফুল ফ্লেজ হসপিটাল ইন ঢাকা, বাংলাদেশ। টু স্টার্ট উইথ, কিডনি ট্রান্সপ্লান্ট ইজ ভেরি ভেরি জানেন স্পেশালাইজড, উই ক্যানট ডু এভরিওয়্যার, টু স্টার্ট উইথ। তো ইনশাল্লাহ আমাদের টার্গেট 2 বছরের মধ্যে এটা করা। এবং আপনাদের অনেকের ইচ্ছে আছে, কোয়েশ্চেন আছে যে আমরা কেন ফ্রি দিতে পারি না। আমি আমার মন থেকে বলবো আপনাদের আকাঙ্ক্ষার সাথে আমি একমত। আমরা যেন সবাই আমাদের 5 থেকে 10% আমাদের যারা আছে এখানে প্রভিশন শেয়ার করতে পারি। আমি কথা দিচ্ছি, আপনি যে টাকা দেবেন একটা পয়সাও উইদাউট লিসনিং এ সিঙ্গেল ডলার, সিঙ্গেল পেনি আমরা কিন্তু উইল গিভ ইট টু ইউর পেশেন্টস। এবং আমাদের যে মডেলটা, যে টু ক্রিয়েট সাম সেন্টার্স উইথ দ্য সাপোর্ট অফ কমিউনিটি, যেমন আমরা বলি আমি যদি স্যাক্রামেন্টো টাকাটা নিয়ে ডাইলুট করে দিই বাংলাদেশে 20টা সেন্টারে, সামটাইমস পিপল ডোন্ট লাইক, ওকে, দ্যাটস হোয়াট উই আর ক্রিয়েটিং দিস মডেল, যে জাস্ট সাপোর্ট ইউর ওন পেশেন্টস। কারণ একলা আমরা ইজ গেটিং ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট ফর জার্নি। বাট আলহামদুলিল্লাহ গত 10 বছরে আমরা একটা পয়সাও বাড়াইনি, ডায়ালিসিসের রেট বাড়ায়নি। দ্যাট শুড বি বাংলাদেশি ইনফ্লেশন সব কনভিশন। আমি মনে করি দিস ইজ এ বিগ মডেল, এবং উইদাউট ইউর হেল্প আমরা কিন্তু এটা করতে পারতাম না। আমাদের জার্নি কেমন শুরু হয়েছে, আমি গেলাম নারায়ণগঞ্জ সেন্টারে, আমি একটা বলি 3 শিফটে 9টা করে মেশিন চলে ওইখানকার। এখন আমার পেশেন্টরা বলে আপনাদের এই সেন্টারটা আমাদের রোল মডেল হয়ে গেছে। আমাদের মুন্সিগঞ্জ সব এখানে আছে। আইভিয়াপা আমাদেরকে আরও 2টা ফ্লোর দিয়েছেন, আমরা ইনশাআল্লাহ ওখানে আরও 6টা মেশিন অ্যাড করছি। এবং আইভিয়াপা আমাদেরকে আরও 6 একটা বিল্ডিং দিয়েছেন টু বিল্ড আওয়ার নেক্সট নার্সিং কলেজ ইন নারায়ণগঞ্জ। সো উই আর ওয়ার্কিং অন এই বছরই। আমাদেরকে আমি বলি কতগুলো শুনে ভালো লাগবে, আমাদের নরসিংদীতে এক ভদ্রলোক জনতাজিৎ মিলসের, উনি তার প্রত্যেক ভিটা দিয়ে দিয়েছেন আমাদেরকে, যার ভ্যালু আমি মনে করি 40-50 কোটি টাকার কম হবে না। আমি মুকুল তোমাকে বলেছি উইল বিল্ড এ সেন্টার অফ এক্সেলেন্স। আমাদেরকে নিউ জার্সি থেকে এক ডাক্তার ভাই করলেন, যশোরে সেন্টার করতে চান মা বাবার নামে, 14 শতক জায়গা দিয়ে দিবেন, 1 কোটি টাকা দিবেন। ইনশাল্লাহ উই হ্যাভ সো মেনি অফ দোজ অ্যান্ড উইল কিপ গোয়িং আনটিল উই হ্যাভ আওয়ার লাস্ট ব্রেথ। ইনশাল্লাহ দোয়া করবেন এবং সাথে থাকবেন, অনেক ভালো কাজ করা যাবে। এবং যদি আমাদের কোনো ভুল থাকে প্লিজ প্লিজ লেট আস নো। আমি বলছিলাম সবাইকে যে আমরা সবাই মানুষ, টু আর ইজ হিউম্যান অ্যান্ড ফরগিভ ডিভাইন, বাট আপনাদের সমালোচনা আমাদেরকে আরও স্ট্রং করবে, আরও ভালো কাজ করতে সাহায্য করবে ইনশাল্লাহ। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। হ্যাঁ, আমি একটু ভিডিও দেখাবো স্যাক্রামেন্টোর উপরেই, শুধু 2টা সেন্টার। আমরা পুরো দেখতে চাই না, you will see the quality and how we operate. সময় হয়ে গেছে, ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ।
Which mainly purifies the blood by removing nitrogen wastes. When the kidney stops working, the waste dialysis is a life-saving treatment for a kidney patient. It is a costly and lifelong treatment. So, even lose all their belongings, continuing this treatment, and after losing everything, they have to. Shonarbangla Foundation, organization providing dialysis treatments to the kidney patients since 2006. We are the first organization to take dialysis to the periphery, have quality treatment at their hometowns. We have so far established that kidney is a vital organ of the human body, which mainly purifies the blood by removing nitrogen wastes. When the kidney stops working, the waste fluid accumulates in the body and the patient faces an utmost suffering, leading to a painful death. Dialysis is a life-saving treatment for a kidney patient. It is a costly and lifelong treatment. So, even the middle-class people lose all their belongings continuing this treatment, and after losing everything, they have to accept a painful death of their beloved ones. Shonarbangla Foundation is a non-profit organization providing dialysis treatments to the kidney patients since 2006. We are the first organization to take hemodialysis to the periphery so that the kidney patients can have quality treatment at their hometowns. We have so far established 20 dialysis centers in 18 different districts of Bangladesh. We have done about 65,000 treatments in the year 2022 alone, which shows the overwhelming need of having dialysis units across the country.
With your support, we established Shonarbangla Foundation Sacramento Kidney Dialysis Center in Gazipur in 2022. Despite being fairly new, this center provides about 300 treatments a month. Shonarbangla Foundation Nazir Ahmed Shamsul Haq Kidney Dialysis Center was established in Jatrabari in 2022 with your continued support towards the deprived kidney patients of Bangladesh. We provide about 400 treatments per month in that facility.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম, আমি জুবাইর আহমেদ শাহ। 1.5 বছর ধরে ডায়ালিসিস করি। আমার পূর্বে ডায়ালিসিস করার জন্য এখান থেকে অনেক যানজট পার করে ধানমন্ডি লেভেল হসপিটালে যাওয়া লাগতো। এতে অর্থ খরচ বেশ সব কিছুই অনেক বেশি ছিল, প্রায় আমার 4,000 টাকার মতো লাগতো আগে, কিন্তু মনের মতো ডায়ালিসিস পেতাম। এখন আমি বাসার কাছে যাত্রাবাড়িতে ডায়ালিসিস সেন্টার হয়েছে সোনারবাংলা ফাউন্ডেশন। এটা আমার জন্য খুবই উপকৃত হলাম। এটার জন্য বাসার পাশেই হয়ে গেছে, আমার এখন আর জুড়ে যেতে হয় না, এখন আমি বাসার পাশেই বসেই ডায়ালিসিস করতে পারি।
Moreover, we are building a kidney dialysis center in Pavna for the destitute kidney patients in that region. All the formalities to acquire land there is complete, and we have moved to the pre-construction phase already. The kidney patients there are ever grateful to Sacramento dwellers for this.
More and more people are developing kidney diseases every day. Only with your continuous support, we will be able to keep the hope alive for these unfortunate people to live longer.
আমি আপনাদের সাহায্য ছাড়া এই ডায়াবেটিস চিকিৎসা নিয়ে বেঁচে থাকতে পারতাম না। আমাদের পাশে থেকে আমাদের এই ডায়াবেটিস নিয়ে বেঁচে থাকার সুযোগ করে দিল।
শ্রদ্ধেয় ভাই ও বোনেরা, আপনাদের প্রতি আমাদের আকুল আবেদন, এই পবিত্র রমজান মাসে আমাদের আপনাদের জাকাতের টাকাটা সোনারবাংলা ফাউন্ডেশনে যেতে দিতেন আমাদের আমাদের মতো অসহায় রোগীদের বেঁচে থাকার সুযোগ হয়ে যেত।
Please donate towards the underprivileged kidney patients of Bangladesh. Kidney is a vital organ of the human.
Very beautiful video and presentation, Kamal bhai. I'm sure all of you should feel very good that your money is in action. As Kamal bhai mentioned, we do not spend a single dollar from this fund or any fund for any of our activities. 100% of it goes to these patients. So our next guest speaker is Dr. Mahfouz. He's a renowned nephrologist and a close friend of mine. He works on the kidney prevention and awareness activities and goals in Bangladesh. Please welcome Dr. Mahfouz.
Assalamu alaikum. We learned a lot by now from Kamal bhai and Anis bhai's presentations. So I will actually focus on a little bit of different issue. Who doesn't know prevention is better than cure? Actually, the dialysis treatment, what we are calling a treatment, is a lifelong treatment. A treatment which lasts lifelong, that's not a good treatment, right? Dialysis actually bring my livelihood, so I'm not ready to say bad things about it just because it's keep patients alive, but it cost a fortune actually. It's a family's fortune if any one of the patients is being on dialysis for a long time. So there is only two ways to escape it. One is an ultimate treatment, which can be a transplant, and I'm glad that SBF is focusing on that. The patients can be survived if they get a transplant, and that should keep them alive and keep them healthy and be the workforce again. And another big way, if we can make people aware about the kidney disease. This is a very big thing. It sounds like a little difficult, how we're gonna screen 18 crore people in a country like Bangladesh. No, not everyone needs to be screened. The people who has the high risk factors for developing kidney disease, if we can screen them, they can be saved. They can be saved big time. So that is the focus of this program actually. I had an opportunity to visit Bangladesh just in December last year, and I had the opportunity to visit the medical college, to postgraduate institutions, to the district level hospitals, to Upazila hospital as well. Trust my word, it's coming. The next big epidemic in third world country will be the kidney disease. And we are just seeing the tip of the iceberg, what we are seeing right now. So the government, and if we don't work together, we will be so much behind, we will be facing big time. So just giving an example, like one of my friends who is a nephrologist, he was treating, he's in a medical college hospitals in the periphery, and I was rounding with them and he was showing me in any given time they have 7 to 10 new patients who are coming with failed kidney and they are dialyzing them, and I was just asking them what next. The patients were treated for time being and they were then sent back home without a plan. That means here, if patients failed their kidney, they are placed in a dialysis center for their lifelong treatment. But that patient has nothing, so they cannot come out with out-of-pocket money. So their ultimate fate is either to die or keep coming back to the ER to get the treatment to keep them alive.
So this is pathetic, right? Like just as a human being, it's just not acceptable. So we are fortunate here, just because like the government has taken care of all the kidney patients here, but that is not the reality back home. So we need to come forward. Only two ways. One is like if we can make people aware there is an organ called kidney and we need to take care of it. If that message can be given, we can screen the patients early and prevent the disease. That can create a big impact in a developing country like Bangladesh and of course like all over the world. So but this is not easy. I mean, when we are talking about screening so many people, we need to create a program. SBF has launched a program. You can see like 2 peripheral screening program has already been launched here. I will not be going into a lot of details in that. It will cost a lot of money as well. So I would suggest and I would encourage everyone to come up and be generous and support this program. It's going to create a big time. Thank you so much.
The last speaker on our first segment is Dr. Tamanna Noyon. She's a UC Davis medical graduate. She was a youth volunteer. I traveled to Bangladesh, and visited some centers with her. So lots of youths, including my daughters are here. She's a motivation for all of you, and she's also, talk about why she's motivated and what she's doing. She is the director of our medical research at SBF. Please.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's really nice to see you all. I was actually here in 2013 when we first did our Sacramento event, so it's really good to be back 10 years later. Like everyone else said, I've been involved with SBF for a really long time, and I have to say that it's been a really, I definitely think that it solidified my decision to become a doctor and pursue family medicine, which focuses on preventative care and prevents diabetes and hypertension becoming worse to the point where people need dialysis. Is it echoing a lot? Okay. Some of the things that I wanted to highlight is I did travel with SBF to Bangladesh a couple of times. 2015 was the first time, and then 2018 again for some of the preventative work that we started. And the things that really stood out from those trips were that people really have to travel a long distance to get dialysis care. So you can imagine people coming from like Borishal, having to cross the rivers to get to Dhaka for dialysis, have to find a way to spend some time in Dhaka because it's not easy to go back to their hometown. And all the while, they're doing this being really sick. So they're in really poor health and having to travel a long distance for something that they depend on. Their lives depend on this type of treatment. So by being here and making dialysis centers in the peripheral parts of Bangladesh makes a huge difference because we're cutting down the time that people need to take to travel and to get the treatments that they need. So I'm really happy to see the bigger crowd here than when we were last here in 2013. I think that SBF is doing a wonderful job. We're really making a difference in Bangladesh, and we can't do it without your support. And if you have a chance, please come to our centers in Bangladesh. You'll really be moved, and you'll just change your view of what healthcare is like outside of the United States. So thank you again, and thanks for being here and supporting us.
Thank you, Tamanna. So we have done our first part. So the next part would be our local volunteers and guest speakers and youths. This part will be conducted by Tohid, who is a dear student of mine in Buet. Both Tohid and Tupa, they were in my class when I was teaching in Buet. So I'm very proud of him. So I'm very proud of him. He's, he's a very passionate, SBF volunteers. And without his help, it was not possible to come up with 3 centers. So Tohid, please conduct.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you, Mukul bhai, for the wonderful introduction. Jazakumullah khairan, everyone, for spending your afternoon with us over here. So far, you've seen such wonderful achievements by Shonar Bangla Foundation, and essentially, I personally feel blessed to be part of this movement. Essentially, the number of lives that we touch just by your dedication, just by your contributions from over here, it's amazing. And this opportunity is not to be taken lightly. I mean, we all make donations, we all do different things, but I personally got the chance of seeing how this organization acts. Back in 2019, I spent time at the Shamali Center for about a week. And essentially, every day, my daughter Alina was doing an internship over there, and I used to spend time with Shorif Bhai. May Allah bless his soul. I mean, he's no longer with us. We lost him over the COVID. But Shorif Bhai was such a kind and generous person. I used to sit with him for hours, and I used to see how patients were coming in, and he used to tell me stories of different patients. Like one of the patients, he had money to do dialysis for 3 days. On the second day, he came in and said that I don't have any more money, but I need the dialysis. So what can we do? What should we do? And Shorif Bhai over there says that don't worry about it. We will take care of it. Just come when you need to come. And in many of the cases, the patients would not even show up because they did not have the money to have their dialysis. And because of that, there are a large number of deaths of patients who continue to take dialysis, but they cannot come on a regular basis, and they don't know. So essentially, the awareness programs that SBF is doing, along with all the other centers in the remote areas, that's such a wonderful thing that is happening. And you all are part of that movement, essentially. Back in 2021, we started with a very small goal, right? $90,000. We will make one center, and few of us volunteers, especially Milan Bhai, Mukul Bhai, Ramul Bhai. We said that okay, let's see what we can do. I mean, SBF has been coming here since 2013, and every year they are making about $50,000. So why not make it a little bit, push it a little bit more, see if we can get 100,000. And by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and by all of your generous donations, we were able to raise $186,000 in the first shot. So that opened our eyes, saying that, why stop at one? We can make two. So what happened in the middle was that one of our community members stepped in and said that, I am going to donate one by myself, which gave rise to the Jatrabari Center. So the Gazipur Center is the original center that we started out with. We then established the Jatrabari Center, and then now we are, alhamdulillah, working on the third center, which is Pabna. So it's all because of what you have done, all because of your donations, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will actually take your contributions to the next level. So this part of the program, we are actually going to call our community members and tell us about their experiences and share their knowledge, share their experiences. I think I would like to start with Dr. Miska. If you could please come over and give us some words. Thank you.
Shubha Shanda, good evening. Assalamu alaikum. I think last time we did in this center was 5 years ago, 2018. I remember. I want to thank you all of you here with a good heart, philanthropic mind, and in this month of Ramadan with a good taqwa. Thank you again. To the point. One is for the donors, one is for SBF. For the donors, so we know all of you are donating as much as you can, but just want to remind you that Sadaqatul Jariyah, or a donation in perpetuity, you can do that for one of your loved ones who has passed away, and they will keep continuously getting sawab out of that, your Sadaqatul Jariyah. And you can do that by sponsoring one of the patients only by $2,500 for 1 year, or donating a dialysis machine only by $4,500, or even if there is a big ticketed donor, as Tawhid mentioned, you can even set up a dialysis center by $100,000. And all of the above were done actually by the people of our community. Thank you. It was done. For SBF, as Mahfouz mentioned, there is a target for kidney transplant. It is a good idea to go for the kidney transplant because people at the spectrum of less life expectancy may not be as benefited as the one we saw from the Jatrabadi center, the young boy, Jubair. He will get a tremendous lifelong benefit from the transplant. He will never have to go to dialysis center again, and he will be a free wage earner for his entire family. And if you will be looking for the sponsor for kidney transplant, I don't think there will be any scarcity of that. So please shoot for that. And one more thing about prevention, as Mahfouz mentioned, this is for all of us, how we can prevent our kidney damage. Ibuprofen, Motrin, Advil, Naproxen, ভাই যত কম পারেন খাবেন, as minimum as possible. These are enemies for your kidneys. পানি বেশি করে খাবেন। আর যাদের diabetes এবং blood pressure, for God's sake, keep this under strict control. If these two enemies are uncontrolled, your kidney is being damaged every single day. There is no compromise. And lastly, one sentence, I always give a reference from Surah Baqarah, verse number 3, about the donors. They are called muttaqin in the eyes of Allah. And for them it says, Omimma razaqnahum yunfikun. Omimma, and from. Razaqnahum, the rizq I gave them, yunfikun, they donate. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Kapai, for your kind words and words of wisdom. So essentially, donations can be made very easily. For all of us who are at Intel, we can donate through Benevidi and Shonar Bangla Foundation. Essentially, I can quickly show over here for people who are not donating through Intel. Just give me 1 second. So as you can see over here, we have dedicated centers for Sacramento, and I think if we click on the Sacramento Center, there is also links for specific centers if you want to donate, Jatrabadi, Gazipur, and then also for Patna. These links will take you to a dedicated PayPal site where you can actually specify whether your donation is going for a zakah or a sadaqah. That separation, as we've heard before, has been made very it's been made very clearly so that the funds for zakah are not mixed with any other fund. Also, on your way out or on every table there is a page, a pledge form, which has a QR code for ease of making the donation. Just taking a snapshot of that QR code should take you to a donation link, and your tax deductible, of course, tax deductible donations will go to the right place. Next, from our community, I'd like to call Wahid Bhai. Wahid Bhai, if you could come and share some of your experiences with CKD and how that impacts the family.
Thank you, Tawhid, for giving me the opportunity to share some of the stories that I have in my family, near family, relatives. And some of you may know that I'm from Pabna. So this is personal. This is really personal. So last year, if you remember right, actually my dad actually wanted to donate some space for this cause, but the thing is the land we got is much way better. Because the space we are planning to give is like, it's downtown kind of stuff, it's very congested, but the land you got, I know the land, I know the person who actually donated the land. I talked to him 3 days back. So he's my dad's actually childhood friend. And they fought together in 71, so he's a freedom fighter. And please don't make any hesitation, it's in a good hand, in a good place. And he actually making a health complex over there on 24 bigger land, if I remember right. So there is already a diabetic hospital, and also he's planning more healthcare centers over there. So I asked him if he talked to Kamal. He said yes, he talked to him, and all the papers he signed. So it's really in good hand. I'm very happy that things are happening on that particular place. And actually, it's not outskirts of Patna. It's kind of, used to be outskirts like 20, 30 years back, but now it's grown so much. Actually, it's inside city right today. So anyway, I'm going to share some of my story. My dad is a CKD patient, and he's living with me now. And he came to visit here, and he had a heart attack and Mahfouz Bhai knows because he was involved at the initial stage. He cannot go back. I'm afraid to send him back. He wants to be in his hometown, which is Patna. And I'm really afraid to send him back over there because literally there is no quality dialysis center over there. There's one hospital, but I'll tell another story of my uncle, my maternal uncle. He was very dear to me, and he used to love me more than his own sons and daughters. And he was rich. It's not that he didn't have money. He was rich, and he got COVID while traveling from Patna to Dhaka for the dialysis. So it's not that if you have money and if you have even money, you won't get a good care. Being outside of the Dhaka, even being in the Dhaka, it's not guaranteed that you will get quality dialysis. So that's the situation today. There are one more dialysis center if I remember right, but I had very bad stories about that. They use the same dialyzer again and again, so it's not that. And also, like, I sent my uncle once in their center in Kushtia, and he said it's really good. And then I actually got encouraged that, and he actually said that it's like a square hospital. They maintain very clean and everything with very affordable cost and everything. Then I got really excited about it, and I got involved myself. So if you have this is actually close to my heart. It's really hit my heart. It actually, in baseball they got a home run. This kind of thing for me. So I'll do my best. I'll go one extra mile to actually make this happen. And I also ask you guys, do as much as you can. Example here, I see every day, my dad wanted to come here today, but it is his dialysis day today, he's bedridden today. And ask me anything about this kid. I didn't know anything about this. But once I came to know, going to the doctor every day, running around to the hospitals, different hospitals, tests, you got diabetes, everywhere, I know now everything. So ask me if you have any questions. So what I'm going through, I can share with you guys. If it does not hit your relatives or close one, you don't know what it is. If you have heart attack, okay, you put a stent or something, you can walk, you can have a healthy life. But this thing is I've never seen something like this. And so I'll do my best. I request you guys to do your best. And even I'll reach out all my partner friends, whoever And in my lifetime, I'll reach out to everybody and try my best to squeeze out every penny out of that. Okay, thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Wahid Bhai, for sharing your experience, and it is actually an eye-opener. I don't think I will be able to feel, or any one of us who hasn't actually experienced it, will be able to feel the depth and the magnitude of the problems that CKD families go through. So, the best that we can do is take care of ourselves and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and at the same time, reach out to or try to help the patients who cannot help themselves by donating and by making good intention. In the next part, I think I would like to call upon our youth volunteers to share anything that they want and make appeals to everyone. So I'll start with Mahiba. Please come on.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Mahiba Khandekar, and I will be sharing a reflection with you all that inshallah will touch your heart. As Muslims, we are all part of one ummah, the ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is the whole ummah not like a single body, where if one limb is injured, the rest of the body feels it as well? There are thousands of people every day suffering, whether from external or internal influences. There is great pain, and we are not true believers until we love for our brothers and sisters what we love for ourselves: our wealth, our health, our education, and our livelihood. Some are impacted by chronic kidney disease, where their kidneys begin to shut down, failing to filter the waste in their blood. That results in them needing kidney dialysis, as mentioned before, or a kidney transplant. In Bangladesh, as seen before, many are impacted by chronic kidney disease. Without any treatment or diagnosis, or without any preventive care, chronic kidney disease becomes fatal. It is our responsibility to donate whatever we can to change the lives of others for the better. And Shonar Bangla Foundation is part of that change. They're establishing kidney dialysis centers. They're doing prevention centers as well. Our part is by supporting Shonar Bangla Foundation every step of the way, by impacting those who are affected by chronic kidney disease, as well as their families and communities. Our wealth does not belong to us alone. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed it for us. And who are we to not use our wealth to better the lives of others for a means of good, for charity, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We can be a part of the means in which Allah sends aid and mercy. Will you be a part of it? Jazakallahu khairan.
Thank you, Mahiba. That was really touching. Next, Tasim, why don't you come over here and share some of your experiences with, you recently had a chance to visit one of the centers, right? Yeah. Okay, all right, let's hear it.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Tasin Haq. I'm a high schooler student at Folsom. Over the last summer, I visited Bangladesh and had the opportunity to visit the Shonar Bangla Foundation kidney dialysis centers in Shamli, Jatnarbari, and Gazipur. The dialysis stations are fully equipped, and there are lab rooms to maintain the equipment. I had the opportunity to interact with some of the patients as well. Given these efforts, it is apparent that any help would be impactful. Donating is impactful. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrated that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "If anyone relieves a Muslim believer from one of the hardships of worldly life, Allah will relieve him of one of the hardships on the day of resurrection." In addition to the Islamic perspective on almsgiving, studies found that neurons in the portion of the brain associated with the sense of satisfaction fire when a person donates money. For many, it is like a habit, and habits don't only apply to riding a bike or driving a car. It could also be finding happiness by making other people's lives better. I started this habit a couple of years back when I was in 9th grade through my first Facebook fundraiser for the Sacramento Kidney Dialysis Center. I hope that this habit continues as I move forward. I would like to thank Shonar Bangla Foundation for creating these fundraisers every Ramadan to help the underprivileged people in Bangladesh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with this habit of giving in this blessed month of Ramadan. Your contribution can save lives. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Tasin. Finally, our last youth speaker of the evening, I would like to invite Timin. For those of us who haven't prayed Asr, we have provisions next door. We were originally planning on finishing everything by 6:45 and then doing Asr, but we're running a little late. So if anyone does want to pray Asr, we have provisions next door.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Devin and I want to share my experiences with kidney dialysis and how SBF can help. Kidney dialysis is a very common issue among a lot of Bangladeshi people. A victim of this includes my Nana Bhai. If those who are less fortunate than us have it, it is a very dangerous situation for them. Things like regular checkups and the cost for treatment are a huge issue in countries like Bangladesh. By donating through SBF, you can make an impact in their lives and gain rewards here and in the hereafter. Thank you.
Thank you, Timin. Next, I would like to call Lopa Bobby. She will also share some of her experiences on how ICKD impacts the family.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Yasmin Yusuf. I'm a civil engineer. Before I start with my talk, I have two questions. So you were talking about donations and is it Intel going to match?
Yes, almost all of the companies match now.
Okay, so why can we re-sign our donation and give it to you? Because it's going to double?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Okay, thank you. And my second question, I've been hearing from this talk like that in comparison to dialysis, kidney transplant would be a better option. So I was thinking about it a little bit more, and I was thinking from our religion perspective, if we are going to go for transplant, I thought our religion doesn't allow for, dissection or anything. So I need some direction. So not today, but whenever you have some answer, just let me know, please.
Mom, maybe we'll come here.
Thank you.
Maybe we can ask them.
Yes, let's do that. Thank you. Okay, let me talk about the speech now. So a couple of weeks back, Milan Bhai asked me to talk about my experience, and he asked me about this fundraising and my experience with my mom. And With due respect, I told him I'm not ready because I lost my mom 6 months back. It's really hard, but I thought about his proposal and I thought it should be beyond me and I should be speaking for a greater cause, and if I can make anyone donate $1, it would be of huge meaning. So I thought I would talk about dialysis and its importance. So, you all know, but you may not realize that our kidney actually runs every single second. 60 seconds a minute, 60 minutes an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks in a month, 12 months a year, and so forth and so on. It goes on and on and on, but we don't realize. For a patient who has dialysis, they don't get that opportunity. Day and day when they have their kidneys deteriorating, they become, a patient of CKD, chronic kidney disease. And ultimately, when their kidney fails, they have only 2 options, as many others said, either dialysis or kidney transplant. My mom was fortunate, she was here, she got free treatment, good treatment. She got 3 days of dialysis, every day 3 hours. So roughly it's 9 hours per week, and compared to 168 hours for a normal healthy person's kidney. So it's like through dialysis we can give 5% of what a normal healthy person's kidney does. It's not really much, but it's a hope, like Brother Mahfouz said. It's not the ideal solution, but it gives kidney patients a hope, a little bit better life standard. What I was trying to say is when here people get this type of dialysis privilege, but back home, can you think most of the people are behind the poverty line? They don't have that money, they don't have this privilege. So some of them, like Brother Mahfouz was saying, they come for emergency service and they don't know what to do and what is next. So how unfortunate they are. So if we could improve their life a little bit by your donation, wouldn't we want to do that? Of course we would. So please make donation, whatever you can, start from $20, $50, whatever you can, please donate generously and open your heart, open your mind for those. I would like to say a couple of more things. It looks like, by doing this dialysis, it not only is benefiting for the dialysis patients in Bangladesh. A lot of other people are getting benefited who are working as a nurse or a nutritionist. You would need a nutritionist in a dialysis center, some probably administrative officers or workers. So it also is, your donation will be an added benefit to all those people who are getting job through those dialysis facilities. So please again donate, stand by those people, give them some sense of hope, and save yourself a smile of satisfaction at the end of the night, and please count the blessings of Allah. Other thing I wanted to say is, I read that back in 2019, Bangladesh had almost 20 million people who are under some sort of kidney disease. And every year it is increased by 100,000 people, and then every year 40,000 people are dying. The number is outrageous and very scary. So we must do something to combat this challenge. Like Wahid was saying, it's a living thing for us who has seen in the past, like I have been taking care of my mom. I know how hard it was. She used to ask for water. She used to drink a lot of water. She loved drinking water. But when I had to ration her water for even giving her pills, it was very difficult. She would ask me for a little bit more, and it was difficult because I was reminding her, you can only have a liter or so. Thinking about my son, when a patient has dialysis, they, with all these impurities in their body, they lose energy, and sometimes their limbs are weak. For my mom, her legs were very weak, and sometimes she would fall. And I would see my dad would not come to me. He would straight go to my son, who was only 18 or 19 years old, and he would be picking my mom up, and he would be picking her up from the floor, and because he would be doing that. And I also would like to say something about my husband. When my mom first got diagnosed, she did not go for hemodialysis, she got for peritoneal dialysis, which is a different kind. And the first time when they brought all the solutions, they brought 100 boxes, and each box was 30 pounds. They were not light, they were very heavy. And my husband was gracious enough to lift those boxes from the drawing room to our garage, or every single week he would bring them upstairs so my mom can get peritoneal dialysis. So and I would like to thank Brother Mahfouz because he was not our nephrologist through the Davita Center, but I always had peace of mind knowing that Brother Mahfouz is there for us, and it didn't matter day or night, midnight. I would call him when my mom was having problems, and I would seek for his advice, and he would always give me good advice and his medical representation. So I thank him wholeheartedly. And lastly, I like to wholeheartedly for what he did for our family and many families in Sacramento. I know he's helping many others who are in the same situation as me. Lastly, I would like to thank Brother Shiraz because the day my mom passed away, if we did not have him by our side, we did not know what to do. He was helping us doing all the details. So thank you, Brother Shiraz. This is my final personal story. It's about donation, but not about anything related to monetary issues. I'm a blood donor since I was 18 years old. I was in high school, and still now I'm at my mid-50s. I still donate blood. Along the way, I encourage my husband. After I got married to him, he's also donating. Every year we donate 4 to 5 times, and it doesn't cost you anything. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes. But the sheer satisfaction we get, it's beyond this world. So we continue doing it, and we encourage whoever you can donate blood, please donate blood. When my mom was in the hospital last year, she needed a blood transfusion. And when I donate blood, I never thought what they are going to do with our blood, what Vitalant is going to, how they are going to use it, who is the patient, or what type of disease that they are trying to solve with this blood. But when my mom got this transfusion last year, my husband was saying, like, after all these years, now you see the other side, huh? This is the reciprocation for all your donation. Now our mom is getting a bag of blood. And it just, dawned on me, like, yeah, it's right. It just felt so good, like, the sense of accomplishment, sense of rewarding. So Folks, I know you all are very able, you're very fortunate, you have all the means to donate generously. So please donate and contribute to the Sonar Bangla Foundation and be by those unfortunate people. Save a smile for yourself at the end of the day and count the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lubabali, for your touching words. Now, I would like to invite Mufti Imam Amir Nazir. Everyone, our beloved Amir, I don't think I need to do an introduction for him. I mean, we all know him. He's been with the Folsom community for over 15 years. He's been serving us during that time, focused on community and spiritual activities and outreach activities. Mufti Amir, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to everybody. Ramadan Mubarak. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept everybody's coming over here for such a noble cause. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. You know, for our wealth, for our time, for our energy, for our resources to be utilized, to be maximized and utilized in such a way where people, the underprivileged, our brothers, our sisters, our children in different parts of the world, in this particular project in Bangladesh, the amount of people who benefit, right? These are statistics which we see and we are keeping count of, but the thawab, the reward which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us perpetually is something which we will only see after our eyes close. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in the Quran constantly. For example, tonight we will be reading Surah Al-Nahl, 14th juz. Allah says, مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدُ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقِي. Whatever you have in the world, irrespective to its monumental outward appearance, it will diminish, it will come to an end. Whatever you have, O insan, from the worldly resources, it will come to an end. But whatever, وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقِي, what is with Allah is always going to endure and remain. This means two things. What Allah has kept for us as thawab and reward after we die and pass on, that will stay till Qiyamah, till we go into Jannah. The second thing is that whatever is done in this world with the intention to get close to Allah and to serve His creation, this will remain in our account till Qiyamah. The intention makes the whole, changes the whole perspective. The person does something to serve Allah's creation and to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala via His creation. This thawab is what we call sadaqah jariyah, perpetual reward. A man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, Ya Rasulullah, O Prophet of Allah, if you could please let me know two things. Which people are most beloved to Allah and which actions are most beloved to Allah. So which person is the most beloved? Like what's in him that stands out? So individual and qualities. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, as for a person who is most beloved to Allah, anfa'uhum linnas, is that individual who is a benefactor to people. Anfa', somebody who brings fa'idah, somebody who is beneficial, somebody who is a well-wisher, somebody whose wealth, efforts, resources are being utilized for serving the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this individual whose wealth and resources are utilized to serve people and bringing benefit to them, alleviating their pain and making things easier for them this person stands out in the court of Allah. May Allah make us from those. Ameen. And so then he said, okay, which actions about these individuals stand out? So he said, the actions which stand out are that you remove from this person any kind of difficulty. Whether it is hunger, whether it is you have to settle a debt, pay off their loan for them, or you are granting any kind of, so you are facilitating ease. You are facilitating ease for this individual. And then Rasulullah ﷺ was seated. He was seated when he's explaining. Then he stood up and he said, by Allah, for me to walk towards my brother, and my sister in need, whilst I'm going with the intention of helping them and alleviating their pain and stress and misery, it is more worthy and more virtuous for me than staying in i'tikaf in my own masjid. For me to do i'tikaf in my own masjid, Rasulullah ﷺ saying, versus leaving and going and finding a ummati of mine who is going through difficulty, I rather do that. And so then he says to us, whomsoever amongst you does this and makes it the focal point of their life, that they alleviate people's pain and make easy for them their suffering, then such a person, because may Allah make us from those, all of us inshallah, because this person's using their wealth and resources and time in alleviating that and granting stability to someone else, the day when stability is needed the most for us, the day of Qiyamah, when we are walking over the bridge, we need stability, we need help. That individual who was helped, the person who was helped by us, they will make dua and Ya Allah, make it easy for the contributor. All of those contributions will stand out and our moving on the bridge becomes easier the day when we need it the most. So all of these avenues of us getting together, mashallah, already, I remember last year we were putting together 2 centers and now, aiming to do the 3rd. The sky is the limit with such, mashallah, generous and loving and compassionate families such as yourself. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam constantly challenged the Sahaba to come ahead with the best in general and specifically in the month of Ramadan. Because the month of Ramadan, every moment has such a level of thawab and reward and virtue which we cannot imagine. Right? The minute Ramadan leaves us, everything changes. Right? So right now we might be getting used to it, but this is that feeling, this is that moment which we have to maximize and utilize, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I will conclude with this. Right in the first page, in the Quran, when we open after Surah Al-Fatiha, in Surah Al-Baqarah, the first few ayats, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a definition of the people of taqwa, righteous individuals. So He enumerates qualities. He mentions that iman and faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is strong. And they back up this iman with 2 things. Their namaz and salah, they're consistent on that. Then they back up this, so iman is strong in the unseen. Then they back it up with actions, 2 actions specifically. يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ Salah, right? وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. Now this wording over here, Allah didn't say that they spend from their wealth. The wordings are interesting. He says, from that what we have granted them, they spend. This makes the whole change. Because he's reminding us that this wealth didn't belong to me in the first place. It is an amana. We are all temporary custodians, some more, some less. So we are temporary custodians of what Allah has given us. So then Allah says that they spend from what we have given them, knowing that Allah is the Raziq. Allah is the giver, nourisher, cherisher, creator, provider, Rabbul Alameen. Not myself, not my career, not my status, none of that. But Alhamdulillah and shukr to Allah if my wealth, my time, my expertise and talents are used in the service of Allah's creation. Because now it is going back as an amana to where Allah intended. It is going back to where Allah intended it to go in the first place. Last ayah, Surah Sabah, whatever you spend, فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ, Allah will keep it continuing. So whatever we spend, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, based on the intention I mentioned, Allah keeps the effect of it. The effect of it is for our children, our families, the barakah in our homes, right? Many times there's a illness, there's a sickness, there's a shortage, or something is missing. All of these loopholes, all of these emptiness at times and voids are filled how? Sadaqah. So today, inshallah, let us excel and propel ourselves in reaching the target, inshallah, and also make the niyyah behind the expenditure that for somebody who has passed away, our parents, make this donation in their name. It becomes a sadaqah for them, inshallah. Make it for our loved ones who are not well, going through any kind of difficulty and hardship, that through this donation of ours, Ya Allah, remove my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my parents' difficulty or illness and so forth. So let us make those intentions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all, bless your families, and bless the project, and grant more and more barakah, blessings, and qubuliyah and acceptance, inshallah. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. We make a short dua. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام. تبارك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. I make dua that we all make dua to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of our families, grant us all the true barakah of Ramadan, grant us barakah in our sustenance, our livelihood, our families, our loved ones, grant good health to those who are sick amongst us in our families, in our homes, those of our parents who have passed away, may Allah grant them Jannatul Firdaus, Ya Allah. And those of our parents who are alive, Ya Allah, grant them barakah in their life and keep them with good health, afiyah and barakah. And we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the foundation, the work which we're doing, may Allah accept it on our behalf, accept it as a sadaqah, jariyah, perpetually for us, for our loved ones, for our families, right till the day of Qiyamah. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And the project which we are trying to achieve, the third center, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a reality. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala utilize our wealth, our resources, our expertise, our management, all of our skills for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may He grant us sincerity, ikhlas and excellence in everything that we are trying to achieve. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqi sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in bi rahmatihi ya rahman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, jazakallah for your time. Put on the spot.
No, didn't want it.
The question was about organ transplant. If the benefactor, somebody benefits from a transplant by which our health doesn't get affected, then a person can donate their organs, and provided they are being utilized in that manner. Sure.
Does that answer our question?
Thank you so much, Amir, for enlightening us on Sadaqah and Barakah, and reminding us, our wealth is not our wealth. I mean, it is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in my opinion, we are just distributing what we were given. And let's remind ourselves of the target. We came here, SBF came here for $100,000. We did it before. We doubled it in one shot, in the first shot. I think we can do it again, and I think it's a very reachable goal. So with that said, those of us, we have provisions for iftar and dinner here, and we will do that here, but we also have boxes. Anyone who does not, who wants to leave now and do iftar at home, they are more than welcome to take the boxes and leave if they want to. We have one final speaker before we end today's event. I don't need to introduce Milon Bhai to anyone here. Everyone knows him by the gracious person that he is.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair for coming, fasting all day, doing qiyam at night, sahri, you didn't have much sleep, but still you chose to come here. And because Allah has chosen you to come here. There are people who are watching TVs, there are people who are watching games, there are people who are in the clubs, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose you to come here. There is a reason for it. You are not XYZ people on the street. You are very chosen people. That's why Allah made you, give you a tawfiq to come here. And why we are here? First of all, I want to thank you, the SBF team, for driving, fasting all day, driving from Bay Area. 12 o'clock they started and they arrived here before any of us. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. May Allah bless Kamal and his team and Dr. Anis Bhai and everybody. Kamal is junior than me, so I'm calling his name. I don't call him Kamal Bhai because I tried to call him Kamal Bhai, he told me not to. So, because I'm a lot older in age than him. So Kamal, thank you very much. And you dedicated Tim Galib and entire team you brought together for many years. I make dua that Allah bless your family and bless everyone came from the area especially. And special prayer to the people local who came here fasting all day. So my thing, what I wanted to say is why we do what we do. We have to have some purpose in life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us as the best of the nation in the Quran Kareem and Surah Al-Baqarah. And scholars said, don't be so arrogant about you are the best in the world. You are best in the world, not just by the claim, best in the world when your life become useful to somebody else. If my life is not useful to someone else, to make a difference in somebody's life, instead of just in my own cocoon, just my kid, my family, my, me, you are not classified as the best of the nation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you are best of the nation because you serve others. You make a difference on somebody's life. And that's the reason you came here today. Not because you are the best, not because you are the richest, not because you are the best house, not because you have the best education. You came here regardless to make a difference. And this difference is having a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are two types of relationship. Scholar says there is a horizontal relationship and there is a vertical relationship. The horizontal relationship among humans. We do things for others, we think that he will do it for me. When I ask Tawhid, can I borrow $1,000 from you? He may say, okay, I'll give you $1,000, right? But, I tell him, in this month and date, I'll return it back. And I'm pretty sure Tawhid is expecting $1,000 back from me, right? So I give him $1,000 and he says, done deal. You told me this date, you brought my money back, I gave you gave me $1,000. But look at, this is a horizontal relationship. It's a business type relationship. I take the money, I have an obligation to pay him back. The relationship on a vertical range is totally different. Look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Quran Kareem, the vertical relationship explains. That is completely selfless. When I'm giving 1,000, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes in Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Hadid, in majority of the Quran Kareem, that He returns you back in a multiple folds If I give Tawhid, he gives me 1,000, I give him 100,000 back. Will it ever happen? No. First of all, I'm not capable. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises, the King of the King, the creator of the heaven and the earth, the master who knows ins and out of you, who knows seen and unseen, who created that kidney, functioning 7/24, a miraculous small thing. To do the same thing, you have a huge machine with all the gizmos. Kamal knows, and all of doctors here knows all this big machine. I look at this machine, says, oh my God, why is this big? You know, I saw kidneys this big, but it is the King of the King who is asking you to have a vertical relationship, and he's asking you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not asking in many places in the Quran. In the key places where he's taking attention of our human mind, he's asking, says, Qarz Hasana. Qarz Hasana. Allah is saying, give me the loan. Can you imagine Elon Musk coming and asking Milan a loan? Can you imagine this? A billionaire in the world asking Milan, give me $1,000 loan. You all will be like, is this guy crazy? This Milan guy is a street guy he walks the street, he just lives by, somehow make it day in, day out. Elon Musk is asking him to give a loan? This is a joke in our mind. But if you look at the Quran Kareem, the creator of the creator, the king of the king is asking you tonight to give him a loan. He's not asking you to when you give a loan, you expect it back, right? Like the example I gave in Tawhid's example. He expects me to give him $1,000 back. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking you to give him a loan, it is pretty profound. It's not a joke. Allah is asking you to give you a loan. Can you imagine? And when he asks for a loan, as if like a baby running to a mother and asking to give her a toy. You do everything to give her. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful. And He's asking you a loan. And He guarantees, the creator who built the kidney, He guarantees you that He will return you in many folds. Wallahi, brother, sisters, in my life, whenever I committed something out of my work, out of my pay grade, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one way or other gave me back in multiple folds. In my life stories, in my work, I was not expecting a bonus. I donated some money somewhere and I was thinking like, I called the guy, says, don't deposit the check please because I don't have the money yet. Okay. So he says, okay, when you want me to deposit? I said, this day. And then I went to work. I saw an envelope laying on my keyboard. I was going like, what is this envelope? So I went to talk to my boss. I said, what is this for? And he says, oh, last year you did such a good job, so we decided to give you something. This is out of the blue. Out of the blue. And that amount was exact amount I told the guy to hold the check off. Well, I am not telling you anything while I'm fasting. This is real. Whoever gave the loan to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to build the centers, and these are all the people. Is anybody staying on the street? Did anybody have to sell their houses? People probably got more houses, right? Nobody went broke. Today, none of you are broke than last year to this year. And I can guarantee you, inshallah ta'ala, when you give loan to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will never make you broke. Allah will never make you poor. Allah will give you back in 1,000 times more. And inshallah, whatever you commit today to bring a smile, to make a difference in life, Allah will bring you multiple folds. With not only with the risk, give you hayat tayyibah, that bring your children as pious. Make your children coolness to your eyes. Make your family coolness to your eyes. Will save you from, give you a life which will tranquil. You don't have to take a sleeping pill like billionaires do, because Allah puts sakina in your heart and His rahmah. Inshallah ta'ala, having said that, I ask forgiveness if I said anything wrong, and may Allah give us barakah in our worldly life, in both lives, and bring our children as a progeny that people will remember. Like the way few of you have donated a dialysis machine, dialysis center on behalf of your parents. Why? Because they raised you well. You are not a straight person. They raised you well. They put it the seed and they raised you well. And the fruits are coming out now from the trees. Put the seed, now you are donating centers. Now you are donating machines, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bringing the fruits from the trees that you donate. Today, whatever you are putting the seed, your kids one day will be standing on the podium and ask the next generation to query. And I make dua that Allah make you to give you the legacy, to keep the legacy in this world, in both worlds. Jazakallah khair. And I ask for dua and make dua especially for the people who are sick among our parents and among our family. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خير.
Thank you, Milan Bhai, for your very inspirational and religious speech. With that, if you have any question, our SBF Board of Directors here, so you can, raise question from there. If not, we're going to have Iftar and dinner together, and pray Maghrib, and then we leave. I have a very special request to all of you. This is a very special community. This is a personal prayer. My mom, many of you know, she's bedridden for the last 1 year. Actually, a couple of days ago, she's again admitted to ICU. So during the breaking of the fast, I would like each one of you to make dua for my mother. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much for coming here. May Allah accept all of your good deeds. May Allah make you among the righteous. May Allah accept all of your kids and your family very happy. Jazakallah khair.